and welcome back to another Co's Daily Brew. Today I'm sipping out of my Pisces mug. It's been a while since I've cracked this one out, guys. It was gifted to me at my meetup, and just fun little fact, I don't know why I'm going to tell you this now, I just feel the need to since we're on the topic. I'm looking into planning some new meetups coming for the summertime, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I'm trying really hard not to spill this, by the way, so I'm going to take a really good sip and then we're going to dive into today's topic. It's still really hot, but it's really good. So for today I wanted to talk about looks versus feelings. And by that I mean the question or theme or anchor of asking yourself on a daily basis when confronted with a lot of situations, how does this make me feel versus how does this make me look? Now, the reason why I'm basically talking about this today is because I recently was meditating and kind of had this little epiphany with myself, and I've been trying to make it more of a theme every time I kind of catch myself going to do something for almost like the near aesthetics of it or the look of it rather than how I feel about it or like why I'm actually doing what I'm trying to do. Does that make sense? I guess because what my job is and because I create content and I'm constantly making, like visual representations to post about whether I'm doing a podcast or if I'm doing, any kind of like Co's work or anything of the sort, that I'm not just focusing just on the pure aesthetics of it. I'm not just focusing on the looks of everything, that I'm focusing on how I'm basically trying to create a feeling also while asking or keeping in mind how things and how creating the things that I am creating is making me feel at the end of it. And I think that this is a really good question and a good thing to talk about in today's world because we are so heavily social media based. We spend so much time on our phones. We spend so much time creating content that is supposed to be a direct reflection of our lives or the messages that we're trying to get across. But there is a fine line and a balance that comes with doing so in a way that remains healthy and it remains like a positive ripple of energy out there within the world. And I think that that becomes unbalanced and it becomes skewed when we become too focused on how things look versus how things feel. Another way to put this into context that might give it a bit more weight or something to kind of sink your teeth into more is, I talked about this already, but there was this documentary I watched on Netflix called Happy. And in that documentary, it went into the topic of intrinsic goals versus extrinsic goals. And in a lot of ways, I guess that's kind of the same thing of feeling versus looking, because extrinsic goals would be how things look and intrinsic goals would be how things make you feel. And when you are waging things, no matter what it is, whether you're trying to post a photo to Instagram or going to eat a meal for the day or just anything of the sort, instead of asking, is this going to make me popular? Is this going to make me look good? Is this going to make me money? Is this going to basically make me look a certain way? AKA, is this going to feed my ego? Or is this going to help me personally grow? Is this going to help the relationships of those around me, even if it's just in almost like a ripple reaction of if you're doing something that makes you feel good and internally, a lot of the times that does make it better for us to then turn around and make others feel good, So is this helping those relationships or is this helping a greater sense of community? And a lot of those are more so, what is this feeling? What is this getting across? What is this doing that is more than just surface level? It is so easy to get lost in how things look. We are visual creatures. We're human beings and we love aesthetically pleasing things. Our brains are kind of wired to look for patterns, to look for the good, and we get instantly thrown off and like negative reactions to anything that is messy or unorganized or unpretty. And I think because of that, we can become very prone to getting almost sucked into how things look rather than actually establishing or making sure that it isn't just about how things look, that it's also about how things are making us feel and the feeling we get when we walk away from something or when something is complete and finished. And I think that at the end of the day, if you're always kind of just keeping that fresh in the back of your mind, you're going to be able to stay authentic and true to who you are and not just who your ego thinks you are. I think that we all do it. It's human nature, but I recently have just come to realize the little pieces of myself or the triggers in myself whenever I am going to do something because I really like the look of it or because I really like the identification I can then create by saying like, this looks like this. Actually, you know what? A perfect example is if you have plans to go to an event or plans to do something and you're putting so much, I guess, weight on what you're gonna wear, right? And this is something I used to do all the time. Like, I can even think back to, like, in my old hometown when I first became legal drinking age and like going out with my friends and just being like all week obsessing over what I was gonna wear out, and then the day of either I like was more bloated than I expected or I just don't like the outfit anymore, and then it just like would ruin my whole night, instead of just the day of being like, what do I feel most confident in right now? What makes me feel happy and like I can move and enjoy myself, versus what's making me uncomfortable but I like the look of the outfit, you know? I think that that's like a really silly, minuscule way of explaining the whole theme of today's daily brew that I'm trying to get across, which is, even if we still leave, you know, the look of things, like we can still enjoy the visual representation of things. There is nothing wrong with that. We don't have to choose one or the other. We just can never forget to check in with how things are making us feel and making the people around us feel. Because even if something makes you feel good, it still could be creating a negative ripple effect on the outside, or it might be creating a feeling that is very short term, or, you know, like a shallow field of gratification. So becoming attuned and aware to how things make you feel, and how the things that you are choosing on a daily basis, the things that you're saying on a daily basis, and the things that you show up with in the world and present yourself to the world to and through, just be aware of how those things are making you feel and how you feel living the life that you're living right now versus just the way that it looks like you're living your life. You know, I feel like I just went on a tangent today, and I'm not too sure if I even made a lot of sense, but I guess the moral of the story is, anytime you find yourself at a crossroads, anytime you feel like you're kind of having a little bit of like a moral complex where you're like, I can't tell if this sits right with me, I can't tell if my, you know, heart is in the right place, then ask yourself not how things look, but how does it make you feel? And a lot of the times you'll be able to, I guess, figure out exactly where your head and your heart is at. So aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Co's Daily Brew. Day 16, I can't believe we've been doing this for 16 days already. Wild. Let me know if you guys have any more, you know, topics that you want to request, because I'm starting to fill out the July topic base now. So definitely leave all your requests down below, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.